Thanks for tuning in. I'm Spencer, CEO founder of Aidium. With me, I'm joined by our friend Michael, who is our VP of Technology. Runs everything from engineering to QA, design, heavily involved in product. We kind of like co-chair product in a way, I would say. And we're here in beautiful Chinchon, Spain, just outside of Madrid. And so, we did our offsite last time in Madrid, which was a little busier and it was very productive, but we got the whole team together here and decided, hey, we'd find someplace a little quieter to really kind of put our head down and get some work done. So yeah, what have you thought of kind of the venue and everything? It seems like it's been a good spot for us.
Yeah, no, we had a great time. We had a great time here. We've been here like the last 3 days. Chinchon is a little bit outside of Madrid. It's a very quiet place. We had a nice venue. The team was very productive, and we enjoyed the time here.
Yeah, you look a little tired. I mean, it seems like, I guess that's what happens when you hackathon and, people were working late and trying to ship some cool stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, the team really kind of gave it their all the past couple of days.
Yeah. No, it was fantastic. We worked on a couple of AI initiatives. We tapped into the latest and greatest, what's possible in tech. We tapped into generative AI, tapped into vector search, and tried to enhance the product in a way that helps our users become more productive.
Yeah, one of the things that I think has been really exciting and fun to do here is to really kind of unleash the engineering talent that we have. Obviously, when we develop day to day, week to week, it's very process driven, where we talk to a bunch of customers and get their input on things that we can do to make Aidium more valuable. Of course, then we refine our requirements in product. They get designed, and then engineers kind of build it. And they, in some ways, are more order takers, right? They find creative ways to build stuff, but like they're told kind of, hey, go out and build this bridge. And they got to figure out the best way to build the bridge. What was fun about this is we were able to kind of unleash their creativity and say, hey, look, here are some rough goals and things we're looking to do, kind of go for it. And I feel like the team really enjoyed that approach the past few days.
No, that's absolutely, that's right. So the team was worked very autonomous on those features and with that technology. So this was great to see, or a lot of creative sparks, a lot of ideas that we produced here. So it's not only what we built here, it's also what's going to come next. There's a lot of ideas that we generated. So this is exciting. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things I talk about a lot to our customers and prospective customers, it's like, not all engineers are created equal, just like not all loan officers are created equal or basketball players are created equal, and I think obviously any independent mortgage bank, you have your top producers that do the majority of the volume, and then you have others which are maybe newer, they're learning, or just maybe don't quite have the processes or skill set of those top producers. And I think one of the things I like to talk about is how engineering is very similar. Like you have Michael Jordans of engineering, and then you have folks that are more kind of JV high school players in a way, right? And so, I think maybe just you want to share a little bit. I think, one of the things that I think we've done a great job at ADM, you've done a great job of, is really bringing in those A-level engineers. And, when I think I realized we had gotten it right was, as we make new hires, people like quit and tap out after a month or two. And you might think, oh, it's a bad thing, like someone's quitting our engineering team, but it's like, I actually thought, hey, this is actually a good thing. Like this person's a great person and they're a solid engineer. It's just the team is pushing them to, maybe harder than what they're used to or able to really do.
Yeah. No, I think our team now really consists of 8 players. This is like great to see. You could see in the last couple of days, they basically took an idea and they just executed on it and they built a feature around this. So I'm really glad that we have that great talent on the team, and seeing that talent in action is really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about kind of the 3 areas that we worked on. Maybe starting with something that is very consequential, but maybe probably the least complex of the 3, which is really around that generative AI, being able to bring generative AI to kind of create emails, communications, to proofread, to see to say, hey, this is spammy, or this we can maybe modify to make it more concise. Maybe just kind of walk us through a little bit how we're looking to approach that.
Yeah, I mean, probably everyone in the audience is kind of familiar with ChatGPT now. You can prompt it, you get like a result back. And we brought that capability into the app now. So now when you want to write an email, you prompt the AI first, you tell it what to do, it generates the email, it improves the email, it helps you proofread. With our merge fields in the editor, for instance, it checks now against them, it validates them, and makes sure that the email is set up correctly. And yeah, this is a really helpful feature, because now you not only send out communication that is great, that helps convert. So what we built there is and we brought in the ChatGPT-like features. You talk to ChatGPT, you can generate emails, you can help with your communication, and we brought this into our email editor, in our text editor. So now when you create emails, text messages, you can just prompt the AI. It helps you with proofreading. It helps you improve, spelling mistakes, etc. And it also checks for merge fields that they're also correct, etc. So it really is an improvement, and helps you to write those emails as better.
Yeah, and I love like the shortened features, like polished features too, that we're able to bring in. It's like, because you often write an email and it could be half of the size, and it's just making those auto suggestions, also finding spelling mistakes, also finding things like, oh, you mistyped that merge field, which is obviously very embarrassing if you do that. I love that. And I think the fun part is obviously is we're, of course we've have had well established data capabilities for a long period of time, and I've always had an emphasis on that, to be able to consistently understand which emails are getting the best engagement. Over time, we'll be able to fine tune and make suggestions to say, hey, look, like we have these types of things could actually maybe improve your engagement as well. And so,
100%.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Well, let's move on to the second piece, and I think this is a very meaty technical topic, but I think let's break it down for the group, because I do think this is really the future of software. At least we're aligned in where the future of software is going. It's kind of around this like chat interface and being able to kind of talk to Aidium, have it find you the relevant things you should be doing or the information you want. And obviously, we've had an effective search, process where you can type in name, email, phone number, find those people, and the algorithm, is good. But like, maybe talk a little bit about how we've, are working on taking that to the next level, kind of the progress we made.
Yeah. So there are several locations in the app where we implemented it. So for example, our global search, when you type in, it was looking for contact data, for instance. So with that iteration, you now can talk to Aidium, like you ask questions and you get like summaries back, you get entities back. So now it really looks through the database. What we utilize there is like a vector search, a vector database. And it really helps us not only search like as a full text search, also search semantically. And then with the help of AI, we can summarize those answers, so you get it back very quickly. Or another example is our automation builder, building out complex workflows, complex campaigns, multi-step with multiple actions. This is really complex. But now with AI, you can just prompt the AI and it generates that automation for you, campaigns, or again, multi-step workflows. And this is really nice. You just talk to Aidium as natural language, and it really helps you set up the automation and improves it. So this is really exciting.
Yeah, so I mean, instead of typing in Michael and I get my lists of Michaels, right, which is how search has really always worked, we're taking that almost 3D look and then using, kind of a large language model to make sense of it. I think and that turns into you can ask things like, find me all of my Michaels, or people named Michael that I've done business with in the last 2 years, communicated with in the last 2 years, or find me, people, like do I have a Michael in my database that is a referral partner, right? And like those types of questions, because it's, it's just, it changes the way that we can kind of operate, instead of like, oh shoot, who is that person I talked to last week? And oh, let me go to the contact page and me filter by the last contacted and try to find it. It just turns into, hey, who is that person I talked to? And I remember they had this about them, and like, it's just going to find it. It really is the future. And then to be able to go a step further and say, hey, look, now I want to generate a relevant piece of communication, or maybe I want to create an automation that is, or a campaign, and that, that becomes cool. The future of software, and I'm not saying we got there today, although we made some really great incremental steps. The future of software is going to be find me the 10 referral partners I do the most business with and generate this 3 email sequence. And you're doing that from your phone even, right? And maybe there's a compliance loop there, of course, but that's the future. It's not spending 30 minutes finding these people, putting them in a group, getting into an automation, building an automation. It's our goal is to save all of our users, an hour. That flow right there, we're saving you an hour or two of time. And to be clear, Michael made it sound really easy. This is not easy stuff to get right, because these databases, there's a lot of data. It's complex. To make meaning and to make sense of this is very complicated. But to also kind of see the live demo of like asking these questions, we made a lot of great progress in the past couple of days.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. And the last thing you did, obviously we've talked a little bit about agentic AI. At Aidium, we do believe that these kind of AI agents can do so much to increase the really just the efficiency, effectiveness of loan officers. We don't believe that these AI agents are going to replace them. We believe it's they're going to become loan officers' best friends in a way, because it's going to save them so much time. And so obviously, I've been talking a lot lately on LinkedIn about how, AI is probabilistic in the sense that it basically says, hey, I think this is the best thing to do, right? And so an AI agent is going, in the traditional sense, is going to say, hey, look, I think I should do this. And if left unchecked, it can do that thing and it might make mistakes, which obviously in a regulated industry, heavily predicated on relationships and trust, we at Aidium, at least, we find it to be very problematic, and we want to involve one officer in that process. And so, we have had kind of our first round of kind of the user input, agentic AI, released a couple weeks ago. I think we added a lot onto that now, and kind of that first round was really, hey, this happened. Would you like me to do this for you? Like, hey, this transaction finished. Would you like me to ask for a review? Would you like me to reach out to the listing agent? Like, the agents are surfacing these things and asking loan officer, hey, do you think I should do this? For you, and then it turns into a simple yes, no. So instead of them logging in, doing a task, taking 30 minutes out of their day, it just turns into a simple click. And so maybe just talk a little bit about the recommendation piece, because this is, I think, the next level of that. Like, great, like we're kind of asking, hey, do you want me to do this? But I think we made some pretty strong strides on the recommendation front too.
Yeah, no, 100%. So there's like a great use cases using AI to help recommend the loan officer like certain actions. So that's our philosophy. So the AI shouldn't do those actions. The loan officer should still be involved, should still be in charge of the decision. So with our agentic model, we prompt users and ask them if they want to do certain actions. So now with the AI recommendations, we look at browse through the contact database, for instance, recommend certain updates on contacts, or recommend certain automations to enable, because when we look at the data and look at our recommendation, then it really helps the loan officer or we surface those automations to the loan officer so that they can make those decisions. And still, they know more, they have better context about the contact to make those decisions, and just deferring this to an AI is very complex and oftentimes also very challenging to build. So this way, it's kind of like a way for us to support the loan officer in a way that's super helpful. That's not only super helpful, but also like very convenient. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of like the idea. And I think we make great progress here in Madrid. And yeah, I think I'm very excited what's next and about the rollout.
Yeah, and I think that's what I love about the recommendation piece is, again, we're just trying to find ways we can help the loan officer make their lives easier. And I think there is like these drip campaigns, we call them automations, of course, but it's like a lead comes in, referral comes in. They're really designed to get that response. Like, I'm going to email and text you until you respond. Yeah. And then it's like up to me to decide. Like, I see the response. You say, oh, give me a call. Like, okay, I give you a call, right? But they might say, hey, give me a call in a month. I'm not really in the market today. I'm traveling next week. Like, let's circle up in 30 days. Like, well, then it's up to the loan officer to put them on a longer term nurture, to add a task, to say follow up in 30 days. The reality is they might get like 20 other calls in the next 5 minutes and forget to do it, or just not do it, or it's not easy for them to always do it. And so that's where the AI recommendation piece is going to come in, is it's going to read that and say, basically, hey, look, I recommend we put them on a long-term follow-up. I recommend maybe you call them right now.
Yeah.
Or it might say something like, hey, look, even though they, responded only to step 3 in this campaign, based on the response, I recommend actually we just keep going. Like, don't take them out of the drip campaign. There's another 20 steps, and we haven't converted them yet, or we still need to stay on them. And so I think it's just a very different way to think about how we can support the loan officer, instead of always saying like, well, we did our job, we got a response, up to you now, and if you don't do it, it's on you. It's like, well, sure, that's great, but I mean, we're a customer focused business. We want to help our customers and loan officers, and so the best way we can do that is to say, well, yeah, they responded, great, we did our job, that's awesome, and we're also going to help you by saying, hey, this is what we think you should do. And we're not always going to get it right. As I mentioned, AI is probabilistic. It doesn't, at this point, it's not always going to get it right. So we don't feel comfortable just moving them to a new automation or continuing this one or updating these fields. We're going to ask you and just confirm, hey, we should do this. And it turns it into a 5-10 minute disposition into a one-click, kind of 10-second type of a deal. And so it's great to see this evolving. And I think, it's going to continue to, in the coming months, evolve to the point where, loan officers are, we're going to be basically serving up a lot of these recommendations, and then their engagement with technology is going to be very much of making these very quick decisions because they have the context and the experience and the knowledge. Yeah. And it's going to feel like the technology is working for them, not the other way around. Right now, they get these notifications. It's like, shoot, I got to get in the system. I got to do these things. I feel like I'm working for the system. It's going to be the other way around, where it feels like Aidium has legitimately got my back in doing all these things for me. And it's the best thing I've ever had, right? And that's certainly what we're shooting for. So it was exciting progress to see that demoed at the end. But a couple other things worked on, a couple other great ideas, but, we don't want to kind of
spoil too much.
Yeah, spoil too much. Those are 3 very big, I would say very, very big, things that we were able to push forward this week. And really 2 of those, the AI recommendations and the, the kind of global search, intelligent search chat interface. Those are things that the industry really hasn't seen, especially in like a day-to-day, kind of CRM software capacity. So very excited to be the first ones to bring that into the world of mortgage, and we know it's going to have a very big impact. So yeah. Well, thanks, Michael. It's been great. We'll keep it going, and thanks everyone for joining.